All right, let's spin the slot machine and see which spread guy pops up. I saw Casey's face in there. Sean Casey is now a spread guy. Yeah,
Thumbs
Gary
up
Sheffield
for Gary
joining
Sheffield.
us on the Tuesday spread. Always so much to talk about when we get Chef. Gary, good to see you, man. And I want to hit you right away with the milestone that we saw over the weekend, one of your former teammates. And when you played with Miguel Cabrera, he was a young bull, over 1,000 hits away from 3,000. Would you have thought that that was in his skill set and a possibility when you were teammates back in '07?
Absolutely. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, Albert Pujols and Cabrera, you know, those are the two guys from the right side, you know, because, you know, when you're not a switch hitter, you have to face more right-hand pitchers than left-hand pitchers, and it's harder to hit from the right side because there's more right-handers in the league. And those are my two guys that I've always gravitated to, that no matter what the situation was, you know, if it wasn't myself, I would rather have those two guys up there. And Miggy, me being his teammate, he was one of my favorite guys to be around. He keeps the game light. He loves the game. He has fun. And he played the game the right way. And whenever you're out there with him, you always feel like, you know, if I don't get it done, he will.
You know, I've heard you talk about some of the new ways that people quantify baseball, exit velo, launch angle, and you're kind of an old school guy. We saw a triple yesterday in the Angels-Guardians game. Mike Trout hit a ball 57 miles an hour yesterday, Chef, but this was a triple. It's all about the results, right?
Hey, just pin placement. So the thing is that, you know, he spreads the ball to all fields, and they wasn't planning to overshift on him in the outfield. It was straight up. It seemed like with his speed, you know, once he gets past the first baseman, I knew he was going to be on third base. And that's one of those at-bats where, you know, you're letting the bat fly. You know, they threw you something that you wasn't looking for, but the bat was going so with so much violence, he couldn't hold up. But when it gets out forward, you're going to make solid contact, and he did that, and that's a beautiful play to watch. That's the kind of stuff that I like to see, how baseball is played, things like that. You know, when you see guys have to dive, now you get to see Mike Trout's speed, not just him hitting home runs and playing defense. You get to see all the elements of his game.
We love getting your reaction to these kinds of things, current things happening in baseball, including something that you can speak to probably better than anybody. You played as a Yankee, you played against the Yankees. What happened over the weekend with the Guardians in town when Miles Straw kind of went jaw to jaw with the fans that are throwing garbage? I mean, what's the lesson that you could pass down in terms of restraint and how to stay professional when things go bad?
Well, as a player, when you leave your household, especially when you're going into New York to play the Yankees or the Dodgers, not the Dodgers, the Yankees or the Mets, or if you go to Boston. And so, you know, there's a hostile environment. You know, it's going to be chaotic, not only because, you know, the fans are rowdy, they love their teams and they fight for their team. They feel like they're on the field with their team. And when something goes wrong, you know, they feel like they're involved. So as a player, you have to watch what you say to them, and not whether it's right or wrong. It's just that you got to know what environment you're in. And if you're in a chaotic environment and how crazy little atmosphere, you just want to just stay away from the verbiage. If you want to, you stay away from the verbiage or going out there and trying to attack, you know, the fans or and entice them and antagonize them in any way. That's when you go wrong, because now you're bringing the fan to you. And so you never want to see fans throw anything on the field, because if it hits you in the wrong spot, it can kill you or harm you in some kind of way. So as a player, we know, and we always told, you know, hey, keep your opinions to yourself, because we just want to get out of here safe.
Yeah, we just rolled in that crazy play from '05. You were a Yankee, and you're chasing a ball down in that horseshoe in the outfield, and a fan actually reached over and whacked you.
Yeah, I was, you know, it was an important part of the game. You know, we was winning the game and the Red Sox was coming back. I wanted to get the ball in as fast as possible. I got to the wall to try to block the ball. And when I went down to get the ball, a fan socked me. I didn't know what happened. I just felt something hit me across the jaw. And when I made sure I got the ball first. And when I came up, I was just trying to fend somebody off me and throw the ball back in as fast as possible. Then when I looked up, I saw the fans standing right there. And when I went, my reaction was to go towards it to get him back. But he backed up so far where I couldn't get to him and reach. Or I had to jump across jump into the stands. And I wasn't going to do that because that's not our place to be. I was in one of those melees with the Dodgers where we went in the stands, and that's a no-no. Once you go in the stands, you don't know if people have knives or whatever. And so when I look back at the Dodgers situation, I always regretted going in the stands, protecting my teammates, but I just wanted to get them out of there because I knew the danger in that. And so when that happened, my first reaction was, here we go again with one of these crazy situations.
Yeah, that dude in the stands at Fenway Park obviously didn't spend any time in Tampa in the early 80s because he ain't going to mess with you if he knew. Hey, I want to hit you with one last piece of video because this is crazy, too. You talk about being involved in melees. This is June of 1990, and a series of bad vibes between your Brewers and the Mariners that year touched off this mess. What you worry about as a fan and a player and a coach is somebody getting really hurt. But I guess at the time, it's like a survival skill. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, you don't want to dive in there because, you don't know who's against you and who's for you once your back is turned. And all you can do is grab your own teammate. That way, he's on your side. You grab somebody else, they think you're trying to fight them. That started in spring training when pitcher hit Glenn Braggs for whatever reason. That's the wrong guy to hit. He's the most fittest guy you ever want to see. And I remember our team captain was Paul Molitor, and Tom Trevorhorn said the whole team is going on the road trip to spring training. And I didn't know why. I was a young player. And once we got there, we have almost 35, 40 guys in the dugout, looking for a fight.
Wow.
And so that's how it was back in the day. And I was like, man, I didn't know the big leagues was like this, but I have to roll with the punches. And
yeah.
So, once that started, it started in spring training and it carried over during the season and it didn't stop.
Spring training stuff counts in a lot of places for sure. Hey, Shep, we appreciate the visit as always. We'll talk to you again next week.